What's going on, guys? Right on, me teacher in the house, and I'm here with the GPL Week 1 Power Rankings for the Hoenn League. And of course, as I don't do these power rankings alone, as you can see in that top right corner, I'm joined by my co-host, Trancel. How you doing, man?
Yeah, not too bad. Glad to be here.
Alright, so, for those of you who have not seen these power rankings before, they are always done on an objective basis, with win-loss and differential being your primary factors. We will be commentating on each of the games as well afterwards, so please bear in mind they are our opinions, so feel free to disagree with us. But if there are any instances of any tiebreakers, we'll explain the deciding factors between the positions as we get to them. Alright, with all that being said, let's jump into rank number 10, which is going to be kind of a shock to see our reigning champion down in 10th place, but it's going to be EXO.
Yeah, so this was kind of a rough game to watch for him. I feel like it pretty much from the word go, it kind of fell apart. The Dragonfall, it felt like a kind of obvious lead to me, and even so, I feel like Rillaboom's always a switch in, but he just kind of let Dragon die, and then he just had no Stealth Rock or Glare Pressure. And yeah, he just kind of fell apart from there.
I feel like the Rillaboom set as a whole was somewhat questionable to me. Like, you already have Grassy Terrain and Sub, and then Leech Seed Protect as super passive, and leaving yourself with only Grassy Glide as your offensive move, which really doesn't do a lot to a bulk up Orbeetle. Like, that definitely was somewhat questionable to me. I would have liked to have seen like a sub bulk up Grassy Glide Darkest Lariat set. Darkest Lariat would give him that additional coverage move while still having decent longevity. You know, bulk up means you don't die as easily, and things like that. So there was definite potential for a slightly better set for Rillaboom to come on in. You can then run leftovers, of course, with that, and then you've got actually a very, very solid Rillaboom set there. Didn't come, of course, played it very passive. And then, of course, the biggest elephant in the room was the Hawlucha sack. Definitely a bizarre play. Like, even when I watched EXO's video, I could not understand why you would ever make that switch. This is not really what I expect to see from EXO. EXO's used Hawlucha before as well, so he's no stranger to it. So it definitely was a surprise to me that he'd throw it away in such fashion. Hopefully, though, we don't see that again.
Yeah, he even said in the video that he outsped everything anyway, because it obviously doesn't get affected by sticky webs. So,
completely bizarre decision to me. The Melmetal did get a little bit of work in, but kind of got fell and foul off of Rocky Helmet damage, which definitely limited its viability, limited its power, but it still did some work. But yeah, some very odd decisions made. Definitely interesting. I did wonder about this draft, whether it being so top-heavy, whether EXO would be able to use this as well as he does with his lower-tier mons. So far, we haven't seen it. Hopefully, we do see it, because we know EXO's a better player than this. So, fingers crossed, hopefully, we start seeing him get to use this team properly. Because I don't want to see Rabombi down in rank 10. Come on, EXO, don't be like this. Alright. Coming in at rank number 9 then is gonna be our newcomer Ted for Prez. He definitely lived up to his showdown name here of Hi I Need Help. This was a really, really sad game for Ted. Definitely kind of interesting. I liked his Scolipede. Interesting little set to bring. I felt like it was missing a move for Corviknight. I'm pretty sure Stone Edge is a thing on Scolipede. I feel like I've seen it before.
It definitely gets Rock Slide, or it gets like Aqua Tail. Like, it has some things.
Yeah, it does get some things. I don't know if he ran out of move slot, but the biggest crux to this loss to me was his Hitmontop's triple axle. Firstly, I don't agree with the Life Orb on it. With how he played it, I felt like Choice Band was fine. Didn't bring it. He brought Life Orb instead, so he was losing Hitmontop's longevity for very little. Definitely felt like a problem. Obviously, missing consistently really doesn't help either. Missed and then got spored by an Amoonguss, which definitely sucked for it. But yeah, the Amoonguss and the Stunfisk really did cause a lot of problems for Ted. He couldn't find a way through them in time, and that's kind of what cost him in the long run. Alongside the Virizion, which I felt like was very poorly played.
Yeah, it kind of took a Sludge Bomb and then didn't really do anything. It's like the Amoonguss it even had synthesis, and then obviously it's got regen. So
Humongous was just like, damage? What damage? You didn't squat to me and just died to a toxic. Like, yeah, definitely kind of an awakening for Ted. Hopefully we start to see him get to grips, because there are some very powerful pieces here. You know, G-Max Duraludon, Arceus, Scolipede, Talonflame. Looks pretty strong. I still worry about his special offense. It's kind of Porygon Z Duraludon, but well, it'll be interested to see how that happens. Obviously, Executor is okay in Sun if Sun ever gets up. I don't see it personally, but yeah, we'll have to see how it goes.
Prematurely just G-Max the Duraludon.
He tried. He did his best me impression, but it didn't work.
Stumpus just yawned it. And literally was sitting. It was tired of it.
Yeah, I
want to be around it.
Definitely kind of funny to see that happen. Not funny for Ted, of course, but it was kind of comical for me to watch. I feel bad for saying that, but it was pretty interesting. Alright then. Coming in at number 8 is going to be Galaxy Bomb. Oh dear. Where to start with this one? So, I think the biggest 2 factors for me as to why Galaxy lost this game. Firstly was the team he brought. I don't really understand bringing double ground plus Corviknight against a Galarian Darmanitan. That doesn't make too much sense to me as a team. But the Flygon actually did do a little bit of work and almost killed the Gengar. But it didn't really offer much aside from that. And then the other part was kind of how he played around his defensive cores. Milotic kind of died for nothing, and Orbeetle didn't get much done. It had webs up at one point, but Rotom defogged it pretty fast. So I didn't really understand how he played this, and it kind of makes me wonder what the game plan actually was, and like how much there could have been a difference.
Yeah. Just trying to remember this. I remember Pelly going on about Rosa Raid. It kind of could have come, but I don't know. He had he had double Scarf. I think it was
the Chandelure was scarfed.
Yeah.
I think the Flygon was also scarfed. But,
yeah, that was it. He kind of played around even after the Milotic went down. He kind of played around it a bit strangely. He like switched out from I think it was like Corvi to like doubles into his Flygon to like take a Max Lightning, but Harley just went for the neutral play because it's like, what's the Corviknight doing to the Gengar? I feel like he could have just gone Flygon and just EQ'd, because he found out that he lived the Max Ghost move, so he could have just EQ'd it twice, still had a Flygon. Yeah, there was just a lot of very questionable
There's a lot of mechanical misplays here. That is something that Exo pointed out as well before, that he is actually generally a solid team builder, but his battle mechanics are not strong. We definitely saw a good example of his battle mechanics being an issue. I do think his team build should also be called into question in that instance. I did like the double Scarf, but that was pretty much the most part of what I liked about the team. I felt like he played pretty passive and got rolled over, which is not something that's going to do pretty well in a league as pretty stacked as this one.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know who he plays next week.
That's who I'm just looking at now. He plays Solo Destroyer.
Oh no.
That is a game that you really can't be passive in. Oh dear. So, coming in at rank number 7 is a rather unfortunate result here. It's actually going to be Poker of the Baltimore Orioles. Now, to put this in context for you guys, Poker did actually go ahead and win his game versus Skinny Biscuit. However, it was found that he had a Life Orb on his G-Max Dreadnought, which is a breach of the G-Max rule. We do not allow G-Maxes to hold any item other than any form of Pokeball, which was an unfortunate break. The account actually did not matter for the situation that it was found in. But, of course, any result that is found in breach of the rules does result in an unfortunate forfeit. But to actually speak for the actual game itself, I actually was very impressed. You know, this was a very, very strong performance and a good showing of how Rain is very effective. I felt like Poker played around his Rain turns really well. I definitely saw an awful lot to offer, and it does kind of give me a good idea of what we can expect to see. We do, of course, know that the Surf Etch got dropped for Seismitoad, which was a suggestion both Trancel and I had in post-draft power ranking, so that was a pretty nice inclusion. It does give him an additional Stealth Rocker, which takes the pressure off of Dreadnought. It definitely offers a lot. I'm really excited to see where Poker moves on from this. And of course, Poker was a good sport about the forfeiture as well, which I do appreciate that. It does suck.
Yeah. Yeah, so he definitely, like, he had answers for everything. Like, the Sizzle was basically dedicated to the G-Max Rillaboom. There was some weird plays by Skinny, but we'll talk about that when we get to him. Zeraora definitely caught him off guard, and that Guja threat just, it was just perfect.
Love the Rock Slide play.
Yeah.
Loving that Guja play. Definitely a good reason why I like Gudra as well. And also a reason why, shout out to Burger and his podcast, why I disagree with Axel that Gudra's overrated. But yeah, I'm excited for Poker. I didn't know much about him going into the season, so I'm excited to see how well he can use his Rain. Obviously, as a former Rain specialist, I do generally like seeing Rain teams do well. Hopefully, no more issues. Fingers crossed. We're going to get a nice clean game. That's what I'm looking for.
Yep.
Alright. Coming in at rank number 6 then is going to be... Oh, look. Fancy seeing you down here. Oh, man. What a game, though. What an absolute game to start week 1 with. This was a treat to watch for me. I had the pleasure of watching this match live. I felt like this game was super back and forth throughout the entire game. I couldn't pick a winner. And then I see one crucial mistake, which was that one moment that I had myself last season when I forgot about Corviknight's power trip. You were suddenly like, oh crap, Lycanroc gets sucker punched. There goes my Dragapult. Right? And that was just such an unfortunate loss. It definitely could have gone either way. It was a really Herculean match. Definitely a treat. I'm excited for this one though. In the future, I hope this gets a rematch.
Yeah, so obviously I like to look at games very analytically on myself and like small ways I can improve. There was like some small things, but I think that's the biggest thing with the whole Dragapult. It kind of came in, I was just too excited. I was like, yeah, I've got this. He can only Excel Rock. So, and then like that play made sense. So I'm not going, why did he switch in a Lycanroc? He had a Weezing that just dies to Hex. So I'm just guns blazing, and it's like hour and a half game. I should be still taking my time to make sure that I get the win. But
exactly, people meme on me for being slow and calculated, but I won my game, so what can I say? But nah, like, all jokes aside though, it happens to the best of us. You know, we all slip up at one point or another. This was just an unfortunate one for you. But it does set up a pretty interesting week 2, because you're actually going up against Skinny, who was kind of an unfortunate benefactor, but definitely going to be interesting. Hopefully we don't see the same mistake again. I don't think Skinny even has a Lycanroc, so you don't have to remember that thing has Sucker Punch, so you're fine. But still, speaking of Solo, let's talk about him next, shall we, as he is our next pick.
Oh boy.
I'll let you take this one, as you were oh-boying me.
Yeah. So, the only thing that was like early on, because like Gardevoir, oh my god, that thing was going to just destroy my team, but he sacked it to the Rotom. Also, him bringing Serena blew my mind, because
I didn't understand that pick either.
He had 2 bug types, so I actually had Escalavir in there, and then I'm like, nah, he won't bring that, and he brings it, and then it actually does all right against me, and just like, I just get outplayed. I don't know.
I definitely think he used it very, very well against you. That was definitely a very Solo-esque play, he has to be said. He does take these pieces and really does hit you like a truck with them. Like, he throws everything but the kitchen sink at you. It's just a question of how well can he hold up. Unfortunately, on this occasion, for you at least, he definitely got the better end of the stick right at the end of a tough game.
Yeah.
Oh man.
There was a Moonblast play towards the end as well. When he Moonblasted my Sandaconda, that I didn't really understand at the time, just because I'm not going Mandibuzz because I need it for Cinderace. If he locked into that, then he's doing no damage to Tentacruel. And then it's kind of bad from there, but he kind of got away with it, and then, yeah.
Yeah, definitely got away with one, but he plays Galaxy next, so that's going to be an interesting match. We'll see how many kills the one single Mon gets. I get the feeling that's a Lycanroc sweep game, but we'll see. Maybe Sucker Punch is going to kill. Just going to run Banded Sucker Punch and win the game. I'm joking. Right. But either way then, coming in at rank number 4 is going to be Skinny, of course. Pretty benefactor of the forfeit win. Definitely kind of flattering, it has to be said. I have to be honest, by Skinny's own admission, he played pretty terribly this game. Definitely some very, very weird plays.
Yeah, I was also a little confused on the team building because it just felt like he kind of had no answers. His team felt very hyper offense and had no hazards on it. And I really thought that Jellicent would come to this game just because it's pretty nice against Rain. I don't know what you think of that, but I thought that was definitely something he could have brought.
I felt like he had a nice Rain answer with Toxicroak. Obviously, Toxicroak being dry skin is actually a very, very strong setup sweeper in Rain, but I definitely would have liked to have seen the Jellicent a little bit more. Obviously, he brought Starmie and Toxicroak, so I felt like he probably realized he couldn't bring so much in. But I don't know, it was kind of an odd decision to me. Just having a look over at my other screen, I have actually seen he did make a trade. He dropped the Jellicent in the end for P2. Kind of an interesting choice. I'm not sure what P2 really brings to this team other than a ghost immunity. Because I don't really see a huge amount of Trick Room play here. I mean, I guess Palisand, but like, how often does Palisand come into a game? Don't really see it myself. Definitely an unusual trade. Obviously, it does take away the 2 bulky waters. We both talked about that in post-draft power rankings. Starmie plus Jellicent doesn't make sense. So I can understand the play in terms of switching it up. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this team moves on moving forward. Actually, looking at a lot of transfers, there's a lot of interesting ones coming up. We'll actually talk most of them at the end, because we missed a few. But that's all good.
Yeah.
So, coming in. Do you want to go?
No, it's fine, sorry.
Gotcha. So, coming in at rank number 3 is going to be Tyler Poketrainer. I have to be honest, I'm low-key impressed. I was expecting a lot worse from this. I wasn't sure how to feel about Tyler's team moving in, but I actually was very surprised. I felt like he had certain things handed to him, but I really liked his Arcanine set. I like the Heavy Duty Boost Teleport to completely ignore webs. Definitely a nice little Flare Blitz on the Corviknight. Nice interesting Rotom set with the leftovers, not a nasty plot set, which I feel like Galaxy thought was a thing. But yeah, definitely an interesting one. I really felt like he played this match very nicely. I like the G-Max Gengar timing. Definitely an improvement from what we've seen from before. The Darmanitan did a fair, decent bit of work. Got to set up with the Zen mode and be outspeeding things, which was nice. But yeah, I felt like
he didn't use that in this game.
Didn't he not?
That was a Kami's game. He didn't even send it in.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, he had it, but he never used it. But yeah, I like the fact he brought it. That's what I wanted to say on that. But yeah, definitely interesting. He did make a few changes to this team. He has dropped Excelgor for an actual web setter in Sharkle. He dropped Ditto for Sneasel, if I remember correct. And there was one more. Oh, Copperajah for Bronzong. That one I'm not as convinced on, but I'm interested to see what he does with that. But yeah, good changes for a team. He used Sneasel last season. Did very well with it last season, so good to see that back on the team. Definitely excited to see what he does. I really want to see his ace of the team come though. Where's the Graplock at? Come on, Tyler. You hyped it up so much in your draft breakdown. Where's it at? I dare you to bring it. Alright, who are you playing next? Let's see. You are playing poker. That's easy. Stab liquidations at 552 base attack. With choice band. Easy clap. Nah, just kidding. Right. Dear. But yeah, definitely interesting. Good start for Tyler. He did start well last season. His mental definitely seems to be in a good place. Hopefully it stays that way. I definitely want to see what happens if he gets put behind. Because that was the question mark we had last season. If he falls behind, he tends to tilt off the face of the earth. Hopefully that doesn't happen this season. That's where we're going to see the comeback from. Because poker is not going to be as easy to break down as Galaxy was.
No. Ready.
Alright then, so with all that, coming into rank number 2 is gonna be Pelly. He's back and he's playing somewhat decently. I felt like he had this match somewhat handed on a plate to him. I have to be honest, he got a very good early lead with the Drake ult. Made a lot of sense. I like the Slowking quite a fair bit. Definitely a good read on his end to one-shot the Holucha on the switch, even though it was a very questionable decision from Exo. It was a good read on Pelly's part. I'd imagine he just slashed with probably specs. I don't know. I didn't actually see it do too much. But yeah, I was definitely impressed with this team. I felt like we started to see some pretty good signs for Pelly. Hopefully we can see him be consistent. Obviously he did make the he did make the finals for a reason. He is a tough player, but he definitely looks pretty scary.
Yeah, it was just a Dragonfall show, really.
I did like the irony that he missed the last one that would have finished the game faster. There was a bit of a cruel irony to that, but it was pretty strong. Just proving that hustle doesn't make it guaranteed to miss.
Nah, it's only 80. You can't rely on it.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely hits hard though. Definitely scary. I'm pretty glad I'm not facing that yet. Do have to face it though. I think week 4, but that's in my own league. All right then.
Yeah, the Grim Snarl it didn't really get to do that much. It kind of just got bullied in a way, like Will-O-Wisped and then constantly like parting shot and.
It's still allowed to bulk up an awful lot though.
Yeah.
It still became a bit annoying to take down, even though it wasn't doing a lot back. It was still just sitting there as just like, what you gonna do then? Huh? Just hit me, forehead. Because he's just gonna sit there and bulk up all day. Like that's all he has to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely interesting. It didn't do much, but it was still annoying. But we did start seeing some pretty scary signs from Pelly that he's back in monstrous form. He's definitely coming back to win that title. But that means coming in at rank number 1, he's brand new to the league, he joined late, but he's up here and he's come to play. Fellow Brit, of course, always nice to see. Rabbit actually turned up and turned up pretty huge. We weren't quite sure whether he was going to be his more experimental self or a tryhard. Definitely felt like he was tryharding this week, for sure. Definitely really loved his bulk course of his Stunfisk and the Amoongus. Felt like he used both of them extremely well going into this match. They were some definite signatures for this team. Really liked the Corviknight play as well. I felt like he used Corviknight, generally speaking, pretty well. He got what he needed to out of the Corviknight. And then the Quillfish. I'm not too sure how I feel about the Quillfish pick still, but it definitely was interesting. Nice to see it.
Yeah, it kind of just fell over. I don't even remember what it did. It died to an earthquake.
It liquidation
which is
turn
fair.
1. That's one thing it did. Not as powerful a liquidation as Grat Block though. But no, like it's nice to see Rabbit in good form. Apparently he bought like some weird choice banded set on something as a special attacker. I don't actually know if that was true. I think he was probably joking about the Alola Ninetales being physical. But it was pretty funny. I definitely like Rabbit when he's at his best. This actually makes him kind of scary. Because, like, a lot of the time we're just like, is he memeing? Is he tryharding? It's like, when he turns up, boy, does he turn up. Gotta watch out for that. Who's he actually playing? He is playing Exo, who needs to redeem himself. So that's gonna be fun. Definitely interested to see how those two match up against each other. Of course, they both play in
Yeah,
EDL, so
I'm interested how Incineroar will go into that, because obviously there's 6 Mons weak to fire, but he's got a Como, so I think it's alright.
got a
Might be
Como and a
okay.
Quillfish. He's fine, no problem. Dear. But I'm excited for Rabbit. Hopefully we start seeing a lot more from him. But either way, of course, that's going to be our power rankings for the Hoenn region. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Ribomi Teacher. That's Trancel.
Yep. Right.
Alright, and make sure you guys stay safe, stay awesome, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.